Welcome to the DAK Machine Safety Podcast. We support developing a safer, sustainable workplace. Today we'll introduce B11.TR0, Guide to Establishing a Machine Safety Process using the B11 series of American National Standards. TR stands for Technical Report. Unlike a standard, a technical report is primarily meant to share knowledge and data on a topic, not to mandate specific practices. Forward. This B11 technical report introduces employers to a strategy on how to leverage the B11 series of machinery safety standards and technical reports to meet the minimum expectations in the establishment of a safety process, along with facilitating the achievement of acceptable risk and effective organizational oversight. While it is understood that company organizations differ throughout the industry in size, category, structure, etc., the concepts can be applied to any organizational structure or size. This document is also intended to raise awareness of the voluntary consensus standards that can be used to help employers comply with the associated regulations. This technical report is not intended to be a substitute for either the relevant B11 machinery safety standards or the regulations of the Occupational Safety and Health Administration, OSHA. It is the responsibility of the employer, machine user, to understand the regulations that are applicable to their industry and/or sector. Introduction. This technical report identifies some specific B11 documents in the B11 series of machinery safety standards and technical reports, and describes how the documents contribute to the creation of an effective safety process. The technical report also describes a process of evaluating risk and establishing minimum expectations that can be used to identify the policies and procedures needed by both end users and suppliers of industrial manufacturing equipment. B11 American National Standards and Technical Reports can be purchased at B11.Standards.org. Guide to Establishing a Machine Safety Process. Scope. For facilities located within the United States and its territories, this technical report describes one strategy for establishing an effective safety process to comply with the requirements of OSHA and conform with the expectations of stakeholders. The guidance provides a life cycle approach to machine safety. Some standards contain content that may apply to all life cycle phases, while other standards may apply to only part of a machine life cycle. B11.0. Safety of machinery is a Type A foundational standard that includes content that applies to all phases of the machinery life cycle, and therefore will not be included in the list of standards that are highlighted at each life cycle phase. It is important to note that the responsibilities of both the user and supplier are different over the machine life cycle. B11.0 explains the differences and provides guidance for each entity. It is not uncommon for an industrial facility to have equipment in various life cycle phases. Therefore, at any point in time, the appropriate standards may differ from one machine to another. This technical report does not contain an exhaustive list of all standards, as additional standards such as Z244.1 may apply depending on factors such as the equipment type, recognized as generally accepted good engineering practices, and industry best practices. Additionally, as AI, artificial intelligence, emerges as a technology that may be incorporated into manufacturing equipment, B11.TR0 provides guidance for its use. Safety process. Risk or hazard assessment. The initial risk assessment is conducted during the conceptual design of a new machine or system. Also, a risk assessment is conducted anytime the machine is being modified or retrofitted, or the initial risk assessment is reviewed. During each life cycle phase, machine limits are documented, tasks and hazards are identified, and risk is estimated and evaluated. Tasks may involve any number of reasonably foreseeable interactions with a machine or equipment based on the operation involved. Hazards may be mechanical, electrical, electromagnetic, chemical, radiological, etc., depending on the application. The risks and hazards associated with tasks during the operation and maintenance of a machine should be assessed in accordance with B11.0 safety of machinery. B11.0 also provides guidance on when a risk assessment must be reviewed and revised based on modifications to the machine or machine components. This is a requirement of both suppliers, integrators, and users of machines and equipment. The expectations regarding the technical expertise of personnel and the fundamental process of executing a risk assessment are similar for all groups. Safety requirements. Risk reduction measures and design requirements can be found in B11.19. Performance requirements for risk reduction measures, safeguarding, and other means of reducing risk. This standard provides guidance on the access or reach to hazards, fixed and movable guarding requirements, control of access to hazards, and much more. Functional safety requirements differ widely by industry. Functional safety requirements are part of the engineering controls to mitigate risk. B11.26. Functional safety. General principles for designing safety-related parts of control systems contains functional safety system requirements. Defining the requirements of the safety system ensures the risk reduction measures are appropriate based on the risk assessment. If it is determined in the risk assessment that a safety function is required, B11.26 provides details on how to achieve adequate risk reduction. In B11.26, the reader will find examples of circuit architecture to achieve different categories depending on the level of risk determined during the risk assessment. When a machine is part of a larger overall integrated manufacturing machinery system, requirements concerning safety layout, span of control, and safety-related functions, interlocking requirements can be found in B11.20. Integration of machinery into a system. If the machine or system can be accessed remotely, requirements concerning cybersecurity can be found in B11.TR0. Consideration of cybersecurity aspects. Acceptable risk and/or appropriate risk mitigation techniques may depend on the industry, equipment type, and the environment in which the machine is installed. Safety system design, test and check. The safety system design will address the hazards identified during the risk assessment phase. General design requirements can be found in B11.0. Safety of machinery. Additional and more specific design requirements can be found in both B11.19. Performance requirements for risk reduction measures, safeguarding and other means of reducing risk, and B11.26. Functional safety, general principles for designing safety-related parts of control systems. Testing of the design is necessary to ensure the safety system functions appropriately. The testing activities may take different forms due to machine type and the risk mitigation techniques that are installed. It is important during the design phase of the life cycle to provide test methods and designs that help prevent unnecessary risk from being taken during testing activities. Checking the design to meet the safety requirement specification is an important step. This confirms that the design meets all of the safety requirements for risk reduction, such that additional hardware or software does not need to be installed during testing. Safety system installation and testing. The activities necessary to confirm that the safety system is installed correctly and that it functions as designed should be documented. These activities may differ depending on the machine type and hazard mitigation techniques that are present on the machine. Testing during commissioning is the confirmation that the risk reduction measures are properly applied to achieve the necessary risk reduction. Maintaining, improving, and/or decommissioning of the safety system and/or machine. Once a machine has been delivered, the safety process continues with operating, maintaining, and where necessary, improving the machine to help ensure the safety of personnel. A periodic check on the safety system to ensure it is operating as designed may be required. Guidance for the inspection of risk reduction measures, including engagement of the top management and the PDCA process for improving safety culture, can be found in B11.TR0. Guide to inspection of risk reduction measures. Requirements for modifications to a machine along with normal maintenance requirements for the safety system can be found in B11.0. The decommissioning of a machine may create hazards that have not been part of the normal operation and maintenance. A risk assessment for the decommissioning activities may assist in identifying which requirements from B11.0 apply. We have completed the entire life cycle of the machinery with B11.TR0, Guide to Establishing a Machine Safety Process using the B11 Standards. B11 series standards and technical reports can be purchased at B11.Standards.org. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of DAK Machine Safety. You can support us by clicking like and subscribe. Take care, everyone, and until next time.